Hey everybody, this is Ted Ireland. Welcome to CRS. Once again, I don't own this song. I didn't write it. I'm not making any money on it. Just jamming out. Hope you enjoy it. It's crowded in worship today. She walks in, trying to fade into the faces. The girls teasing, laughter is carrying farther than they know, farther than they know. But we are the body. Why aren't his arms reaching? Why aren't his hands healing? Why aren't his words teaching? And we are the body. Why aren't his feet going? Why is his love not showing them? There is a way. There is a way. Traveler is far away from home. He sheds his coat, quietly sinks into the back row. The weight of their judgmental glances tells him that his chances are better off on the road. 'Cause if we are the body, why aren't his arms reaching? Why aren't his hands healing? Why aren't his words teaching? We are the body. Why aren't his feet going? Why is his love not showing them? There is a way. Jesus paid much too high a price for us to pick and choose who should come. We are the body of Christ. 'Cause we are the body. Why aren't his arms reaching? Why aren't his hands healing? Why aren't his words teaching? We are the body. Why aren't his feet going? Why is his love not showing them? There is a way. We are the body. Why aren't his arms reaching? Why aren't his hands healing? Why aren't his words teaching? We are the body. Why aren't his feet going? Why is his love not showing them? There is a way. There is a way. All right, I think I'm gonna leave that in there, warts and all. That's If We Are the Body, Casting Crowns. Again, not trying to make any money on this. If you like that song, Casting Crowns is awesome. I pretty much live my life immersed in their music in the third day. Again, my name's Ted Ireland. Welcome to CRS, Cancer, Recovery, and Spirituality. Major focus on spirituality, not the cancer. Please say hi in the comments if you're watching this. Like this video, share it. Love to get it out to some more people. Just trying to do this thing to, I don't know, talk about what, whoa. I tried a different thing for my notes today, and obviously that didn't work very well. So, sorry about that. Trying to, talk about what I'm going through and hopefully be able to maybe help somebody else out too. Again, the 5-minute thing, by the way, is gone. We're not going to keep it at 5 minutes anymore. If we're going to do music, it's going to be 10 to 15. So I'll try to keep it short, though. So if you got 10 or 15 minutes to hang out with me, that'd be great. Again, like and share the video. I would really appreciate it if you say hi in the comments so I know The last one when I looked at it, there was 112 views and like 12 people liked the video. So I have no idea who's seeing it. So, that song brings up what I wanted, kind of leads into what I want to talk about, because I think we know that, we're supposed to be the body of Christ. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We should be a representation of God to the people that we meet in our lives. And, we talk about God's love and grace and provision. And, we try to be close to Him, stay in His will, and try to live our lives with, making the best decisions we can as we go. But my question is, if we're supposed to be the body, if we're supposed to be doing these things, then how do we know what God's will is if we're not listening? I mean, God talks to us in a lot of ways, through writings, through other people, through gatherings. God talks to us in a lot of ways, and people get really weird when you start talking about hearing God's voice. Now, I want to make it clear, I've never heard the audible voice of God. Not like the clouds parted and a bush burned on fire or nothing like that. But, we have a relationship with God, and, how do we know what His will is if we're not listening? There's a lot of references to hearing God's voice, and when you read, and there's all kinds of books and all kinds of stuff. I kind of developed my relationship with God organically, and I learned to do this about 25 years ago. And the big question I think is in all of this is why does God even care? Why does this matter? Why is it important to God? And the answer to that is that every single person watching this video, every single person who sees this is loved and valued. You are His greatest creation. Each one of us, and we are all, every single one of us, loved and valued more than we can possibly even understand. The example that I'm going to use in this story is sheep. And in my limited experience, I'm certainly not a shepherd or a farmer or anything. I grew up in Miami. Weren't a lot of farms. But my understanding is sheep are not very smart animals. So it makes a good example for this because, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. But the point is when the shepherd comes to open the gate and he calls out, the sheep know his voice. And the sheep know his voice because he's with them all the time. They hang out together all the time. The shepherd protects them. The shepherd feeds them. The shepherd tells them when to rest. And they know the shepherd's voice. We're called by name, and God will lead us and provide all our needs. But the big point here is that the sheep know the shepherd's voice. I mean, what kind of relationship would you have with somebody who never spoke to you? What kind of relationship could you have with somebody who just never spoke? There wouldn't be much of a relationship to be had. And I believe that God is speaking to us all the time. We just have to choose to listen. When we do this in our quiet time, I think we can lessen the stress and the pressure of the day. Make the day go a little bit easier because we know that God's in control. He's going to provide everything that we need and help us in all of the interactions that we have throughout the day. We have to rest in the fact that we know that God is in control. So what I wanted to talk about tonight is, what if we're not used to this? What if we've never been able to, what if we were never taught that it's even possible? That's the first thing. Secondly, if I have this relationship with God, how do I develop this ability to listen to His voice? And again, I'm talking about the still small voice of God that comes in quiet time, not the no bushes on fire, things like that. But what if we've never learned to do that? What if it's been such a long time? My encouragement, my point is that we can learn. I learned how to do this, and if if God, quite honestly, if God will talk to me, he'll talk to anybody. Um, excuse me. But it develops differently for each person. Everybody has their own relationships. But I know from my experience, three things for sure. One of the things is, a God of my understanding, first of all, part of that is that I don't understand. I don't understand everything about God, but I know that God is love. And the first thing that, everything he says to me is for my benefit. And it's out of love, it's for my benefit and my growth. Those are my dogs. They're not my dogs, but they live here in the house. So number one is everything that God says to me is for my benefit and my growth. Number two, God only talks to me about me. He doesn't talk to me about you. He doesn't tell me what's wrong with anybody else. When I'm doing this and I'm having my communication with God and he talks to me, God only talks to me about me. He doesn't talk to me about anybody or anything else, and other than what I need to do to be true to myself in any given situation. The third thing is that God really wants to hang out with us all the time. And I mean, all the time. Can you imagine that? Being in communion with God all the time. I learned, like I said, I learned how to do this about 25 years ago, and I'm getting better at it, but certainly it's not something that I do all the time. During the course of the day, you get involved in things are routine, there's certain things that have to be done, and yeah, that did not work well at all. And it's hard sometimes to keep that relationship, to keep that consciousness, the presence of God in your life. And that's what I call it, practicing the presence of God. That's something that I learned from some of the literature that I read. I love my quiet time. I love doing my quiet time, especially in the mornings. I get to hang out on the back porch and enjoy nature and hang out with God a little bit in the mornings, and just have some quiet time. But trying to do that all the time for me is difficult. I think I do a whole lot better than I used to. But I'm reading, and I should have put this closer. I've been reading this. One of the things I read in my quiet time, and I read is a little pamphlet. It's by a guy named Brother Lawrence. He was a monk. He lived in the 1700s, and he was the cook at the monastery. And reading this little pamphlet, there is so much in here about the presence of God and practicing the presence of God. And this guy, he had it down. Everything he did, from the most menial task, he would ask for help for before he began, and give thanks to God after he was done. And that's where I'd like to be. I just think that'd be a cool place to be. I think that my goal is to live every moment in the presence of God. That's what I want to do. And I think that if we were doing that, then all the stuff that we get all worked up over about being the body would all just kind of sink into place. It's only something that I can do for myself, but I think that if more of us were doing it, it would be a better place. So the whole place would be a better place to live. So that's what I think. I'd love to hear some reactions. I'd love to hear some input about your communion, your hanging out, practicing the presence of God, however you do that. The whole point of these videos is to try to open up some dialogues, if that's something we can do. So feel free, please comment, please ask questions. If this is something you're struggling with, message me on the side. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. But I'm going to leave it at that because we're coming up on about 14 minutes. So please say hi in the comments, like and share the video. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.